I've been living in this apartment for months now, and my parents don't seem like they are moving anytime soon. There's so many of us living here. I'm still sleeping with my parents, and I'm ready to have my own room. My friends come over, and there's no place for us to hang out. Some of the guys are heading out to a buddy's house to chill, so it's time for me to sneak out. My parents are super strict. I guess I'm going to sneak out like usual. Laying on my bed, my mom opens the door and yells, "You better not. If your friends come and I catch y'all outside, they gonna see my cleaver." My mom's dramatic like that. She's done this to plenty of my friends before. There's times when she would show up at my buddy's house and drag me back home. She'd make a fool out of me in front of everyone in a heartbeat. I smirked at my mom and said angrily, "Damn Mom, why you gotta be so nosy, and leave my room right now." Mom slammed the door and I yelled out loud, "Cook me some food while you're at it. It's been a while and I'm getting hungry, so." I walked down the stair to the kitchen to see if Mom is cooking any food like I demanded. She was prepping some chicken thighs. I walked past her and went into the computer room. Mom is gonna take a while, so I turned on the computer and played the best computer game at that time, Age of Empire. If you know, you know. My mom stormed into the computer room. She scared the living crap out of me. She asked me, "Henry, please tell me you just walked past me about a few seconds ago." I looked at her dumb and said no. He said that while she was preparing some chicken thighs, she heard what she thought was me making a rapid screeching noise with my feet behind her. She turned around and saw a shadow walk swiftly into the living room and disappeared. He continued to prep, and when she was done, she leaned down to open the oven and the screeching noise appeared, but this time she can see at the side of her vision there was a dark dress slowly floating passing her. She just paused and indirectly stared at the dark blurry dress floating into the living room. The shadow turned and disappeared towards the stairs that lead to the bedrooms, and that's when my mom ran into the computer room. After what she told me, I laughed and said, "Your old age is getting to you, Mom." I purposefully said that because I myself have heard other family members whispering about weird encounters recently around the apartments. I was nervous. I didn't want to think about what my mom had just witnessed. I didn't want to scare Mom. I told Mom that I'll keep the computer room door wide open if that helps her. She turned and walked away as if she was annoyed by me. I guess Mom wanted me to stay with her in the kitchen. I mean, the kitchen is literally right beside the room I'm in, and plus this Age of Empire game is just getting good. Mom finished cooking and we both sat down to eat. While eating, Mom asked me, "How do you feel about living in the apartments?" "Well, it's livable. We have lots of company. I couldn't ask for more, but I do want my own bedroom," I laughed. We both laughed and continued eating. She interrupted one more time and asked, "Henry, your dad and I have been having weird feeling about this place ever since we've moved here. There's gotta be something that happened in this place that no one has told us about. You should ask around to see if there's any history about these apartments." I nodded in agreement and finished my plate of food. With a full stomach, I walked towards the stairs that leads to the upstairs bedrooms. There was a shadow standing at the top of the narrow stairs. It was my sister-in-law, so I waited to see if she was going to walk down first. She just stood there also contemplating the same idea. So I walked up the stairs. As I did, she walked down the stairs also. We met about halfway and I purposely bumped into her shoulder so she would move more to her side, but when I did, my shoulder went straight through her. I turned and there was no one there. Holy fuck, I ran into my room, turned on the light, jumped on my bed and covered myself with my blanket. The rest of the day I stayed in my room until Mom came in to see what I was doing. "Henry, I'm surprised you are not outside with the cousins." I told her I wasn't feeling well and left it at that. The next day I started my investigation. What I found out raised the hair at the back of my head. The story goes like this. There used to be an old lady that lived in our apartment before we moved in. She had a son, but when the son got older, he moved out, leaving just his mom alone. She was an elderly retired lady. Her family neglected her, and for the longest time she would write mail to her son begging him to come see his mother. The old lady one day decided she was going to end her life. She grabbed a white rope and walked towards the back of the apartments. Her apartment also had a car garage. She opened the garage, closed the garage door, grabbed a chair, got on top of the chair and tied the rope to one of a metal water pipe running across the top of the ceiling. The old lady hung herself. Consequently, the son of the old lady came by that week and found her hanging in the garage. In front of her laid an envelope. In the envelope was a letter which read, "Henry, if you are reading this letter, it means that I have gone to meet your dad. I've loved you as much as I can. I've tried my best to support you while you needed me. I've realized that my baby bird has left the nest. Now, it's time for me to leave my nest. I love you and take care of yourself. I'll always be here for you. Love, Mom." That's what my older cousin told me. He even took me to the garage and showed me a little portion of rope that was still tied to the metal water pipe. That chilled me to the bones. I don't know if the part of that rope is really the same rope or if my cousin is bullshitting me. Heck, he might be bullshitting the whole thing. I did confirm the death of the old lady, but I don't know about the envelope part. Maybe he added it in or maybe he didn't. I would never know. We stayed there for a few more years. My older brother saved enough money and we all moved out of those apartments. All the relatives eventually moved out also. I'm almost in my 40s now. I still live close by and would drive past those apartments. Half of the apartments has been burned down. One thing for certain is that someone or something is still living in apartment 9. Sometimes when I drive by the apartments, I still see a light shining through the windows that my brother, nephew, and nieces slept in. I'm not sure if it's occupied by homeless people or if there really is tenants living there. I have managed to get the courage to pull in front of apartment 9 driveway. My nephews came with me at that time. They did a whole tour. Me, on the other hand, will never step foot in that haunted apartment ever again. Thank you for listening to these episodes of Scary True Apartment 9 Stories. As always, like, share, subscribe, and stay shivering.